we're here today at the TONI&GUY Hairdressing Academy with MacKenzie Miller, the director of the program. Our program is a 9-month cosmetology course, and if you could elaborate on that, MacKenzie?
Excellent, yeah, absolutely. It's a 1,250-hour program that prepares you for your state board examination to be licensed in Pennsylvania to work as a cosmetologist. So we prepare you by educating you in all facets of hair cutting, hairstyling, manicuring, pedicuring, skincare, all of the things in between, and sciences that support it as well.
Nice. Okay, so MacKenzie, you're going to show us a couple demonstrations today. Hopefully some techniques some of us can use at home, but I'm going to go ahead and step out and kind of let you do your thing here. So
thanks, Zach.
Go ahead.
All right, so today what I wanted to share with you are ways that you can do thermal styling at home using the tools that the professional use in the ways that they use them. So today we're going to practice some different techniques using a Marcel curling iron. This is a little bit different iron than most people use at home because most irons that you buy from the store today are hinged. This iron is considered a Marcel iron, so it has no hinge. It has a bar that allows you to control the tension and create a curl in a much more specific and controlled way. We also are going to show some techniques utilizing a flat iron. This is a really popular way that people are curling and texturizing their hair as well. So I'm going to start off, I've sectioned off the bottom portion of the hair, and I'm going to prepare this hair with our TG Catwalk hot iron spray. This is just a nice heat protectant that allows the hair tools to glide through the hair without getting stuck. It helps prevent any damage or heat damage, and also is great protection when you have color in your hair so that the heat does not promote that to fade faster. So a lot of times when we are curling our hair at home, what we'll do is we end up coming all the way down to the ends and just curling up to the top of that section. We definitely get a curl this way, but it's a different shape of curl. When you do that practice, often you have a really nice curl formed at the base of that section and strand. However, the top of the section tends to lose a little bit more of the shape. So what I want to show you today is I'm going to leave this portion hang so you can see the difference. Take this other section. We're going to use the Marcel iron. We're going to use a clicking and turning technique. So I have fingers positioned underneath and on top of the bar, so I have the ability to push open and push close as I need to go. I'm going to insert the iron at the top of the subsection, gently close it, remove my fingers from in between these two bars, and do one turn to get that hair to spin around the curling iron. I'm going to leave it sit there just for a few seconds. Using my 2 sets of fingers, open the bar, slide that down the section, push it closed again, and again rotate my wrist to get that curl around, the hair curling around the rod again. And I'm going to repeat this process all the way down to the end of the strand. It's important that you get all the way down to the ends so the ends don't stick out, fray out, or are left looking frizzy. So a few little clicks to get those bottoms in. Then I'm just going to click it open until it releases the hair. Pull that out gently, and you can see now the difference. We've got a full curl from the top to the bottom of the strand. Another popular way that we are curling hair today is with a flat iron. Usually we know our flat iron is a way to straighten or smooth the hair, but it can be used in multiple ways to create curls or even waves. So again, we're going to take another small section. A lot of times I think when people are first starting to practice this, they clamp that iron shut and turn with a lot of tension and pressure, and it makes it really difficult to create the shape. So a lot of times when I'm working with students, I tell them, don't try too hard. Use a really light pressure and tension, and it actually is very simple. I've already prepped this hair with our heat protectant, so I'm just going to gently clamp the iron closed, do one rotation, and then I can glide that iron all the way down to the ends, and it creates this beautiful, soft curl and wave pattern.
Nice. So you mentioned a little bit about tension. Obviously that's very important. You have the automatic tension on the other piece, but I mean, would you say with hair techniques is tension key a lot of the time? Or?
In everything that we do, whether it's hair cutting, hair styling, even when we're placing a foil into the hair for highlights, tension makes a big difference on everything that we do. Another technique that you can use using your flat iron is to create what is just like a finger wave. A lot of retro styles have made a comeback, and the classic technique of practicing or applying finger waves uses a lot of product, combs, you have to set somebody under the dryer, and not all the time do we have the ability or the time available to do all of that. So you can even take your flat iron, and you often will need a little bit of a higher temperature for this to make sure that it goes in well. Because I'm gonna turn the heat up, I'm just gonna apply a little bit more of that TG Catwalk hot iron spray for protectant, where you can take the strand of hair and you can just use the flat iron technique to push and pull a finger wave, a wave pattern, right into a strand of hair to create that nice, soft finger wave, that glamorous look, and it pulls out very, very nicely and styles absolutely beautifully.
Very nice. So what would you say is like the average time someone should give themselves kind of working these techniques?
It always depends on the thickness or density of the hair that you have. So if you have little thin and fine individual hair strands, even if you have a lot of hair, usually you want to break it up into subsections and work through it. But in the morning, if you have practiced this and kind of aced your routine, you should be able to get a curl set done on yourself within about 30 minutes. There's another technique that I wanted to show you today, and it was more of kind of like a quick and easy updo. You can incorporate these types of curl textures in it, but this is going to utilize some braids that make it look like the hair is very curled and controlled. I'm just going to switch out my mannequin. Okay, so I've pulled this fun blue hair doll, and I have prepped her a little bit. I've got her in a series of ponytails. So I just prepped her hair and sectioned her into 4 separate ponytails. When I sectioned this up, I used triangular sections. So if I show you the top of the head, you can see it forms a triangle. This is gonna allow that to pull back and away from the face without any puckering or puffing in areas that you don't want it to.
And just for the viewers at home, this is not any specialized type of synthetic hair. This is real human hair.
Yeah, all the mannequins have real human hair. That way all of our students can do all of the chemical processes, all the cutting, coloring, perming, relaxing, blow drying, heat styling, all of the different techniques that we practice. Okay, so I'm gonna take this first section in the front, and this time I'm going to prep the hair with a little bit of our TG Copyright Care. This is a dry shampoo. Dry shampoos are normally used in between your washings to help absorb excess oil at the scalp. Today I'm gonna use this product to give me a little bit more texture in the hair so it holds the style well. So I'm going to just spray this into the section of hair that I have. And I'm going to do just a 2-strand twist. So this is a really simple look, simple braiding technique. Even if you feel like your fingers jumble when you do braiding, this is just taking 2 strands and twisting. Nice and easy. So it creates almost like what looks like a rope. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space up at the top here, because then what I'm gonna do is take these little loops, these little bumps, and gently pull and tug on them to create more depth, more texture, more volume in this little section. And this is a great and easy way if you don't have time to curl the hair to fake like it was curled. So you see now I've got much more movement, much more volume. It's taking up more space. Now I'm going to gently lay that down and wrap that around the little base of the ponytail. And I'm going to take a bobby pin to secure it. I want to give you a quick lesson on bobby pins too while I'm here. Bobby pins have a shape for a purpose. The opening at the beginning of a bobby pin is to determine how much hair that bobby pin can hold. So if we ever stretch it open, we're kind of defeating the purpose of it being able to hold the way it's supposed to. The bottom end that is flat is to help us glide and slide that bobby pin into place. The curved area is to lock into place. So when we are applying a bobby pin, I don't ever stretch it open. I glide it into the hair using the flat portion down, making sure the hair that I want to hold in place is in that opening and is also attached to the hair I want to hold it to. So gliding that in, and I will flip it over and then push it in with the textured portion down. So not being able to see that as well on camera, I'll show you how that goes on the hair. So when I'm putting that in, I slide it into place, I flip it over, and then I push it back. And that will lock that into place. Then this little portion over here, you see how it's kind of popping up? Where you hold the hair or where you feel like you need to hold it in place is generally where you need a bobby pin. And I'll do that same trick. Glide it into place, flip it, and push it back with that locking section down. And that just created a really nice little soft textured bun. I'm gonna repeat that technique through these bottom 3, and it's gonna give her a really nice, full looking updo. It's almost like a little glamorous mohawk. It's really important to help use the products that make your job a lot easier. If you don't have dry shampoo available to you, another thing that you can do to help create the texture and movement is just before doing your 2-strand twist, you can tease the hair up a little bit. I'll show that on the next section so you can see that will create about the same look that you're going for. Gently pulling these out just a little bit, and again, swooping that around, and I'm gonna secure it to the base. Don't worry if you get these little guys that stick up along the way. We have other products that are gonna help us secure and shape things down the way we need them to. Okay, got that one in place, and you see how they're kind of right next to each other. I try to make sure there aren't gaps in between the 2 set of the braided buns as they lay together, because that's what really makes this look like an intricate, detailed updo when we're finished. So this next one, instead of applying the dry shampoo, I'm just gonna take these 2 sections and give a light tease to spread that hair apart a little bit. Then I'm gonna pull it gently to get my 2 subsections and do that same 2-strand twist.
So what kind of, I guess, event would you do this type of technique for?
Well, if you're anything like me, I wear this any day of the week because I think this updo is so cute and fun. But I've also utilized it for weddings, for a fun night out, just for dinner. You could pretty much do this day or night. If you want to transition it to a little bit more glam, you could always put little flowers or gems or a little intricate hairpiece in alongside or amongst this to really make it look a little more fancy.
So with the bobby pins, how many is too many?
It really depends on the style that you're doing. There's definitely been times where I have used what feels like hundreds of bobby pins in a client's hair for a special event. But I try to use just as many as it takes. So you see with each of these little buns that I've been creating, I've been using a minimum of 2. But if you have hair that sticks out in any place, you definitely want to make sure that it gets secured down and it's going to last for the entirety of the event or the day, whatever you need that style to be for. Okay, so this is our last little subsection that we braided. We're going to loop that in and pin it in. Puffing here just a little bit, so I'm going to put another pin in there. Okay, so you can see now we have this intricate little area. I'm going to use a rat tail comb to help me push hair in little sections that it's poking or sticking out. putting other bobby pins as needed. Notice I'm still not stretching them open. And number one rule, I don't ever stick them in my mouth.
Is there a reason for the, besides the obvious safety reason for not putting them in your mouth?
Yeah, safety and sanitation is the number one reason you don't want to put anything into your mouth, any of the tools. We're using them on people's hair, or we use other tools on people's skin, fingernails, etc. And the difference between a talent and a professional is always making sure that we maintain safety and sanitation of our clients in all circumstances. Okay, I'm gonna do one more pin here. I always like to kind of step back a little bit, making sure that everything is looking really good, has a final shape to it. I'm gonna use a little bit of our Bedhead Lightheaded. This is a very flexible hold hairspray. So the flexibility is really nice for something that has texture. So I'm gonna give that a nice spray. Using my rat tail comb again to use that nice flexible spray, spraying in the direction to get any flyaways laying down nicely. And one of my favorite bedhead products is the Bedhead Head Rush. This is a shine spray. It's a really nice super fine mist. When you spray it over any hairstyle, it just adds a nice shine and sheen to it, and it smells like candy, so it's definitely a favorite. So that's my demonstration of utilizing some hot tool techniques and a quick and easy updo. I hope everybody gets to pick something up from it. Try your hand at it, get some practice in, and have a lot of fun doing it.
Okay, well, we just learned a couple techniques that hopefully some of us can use at home. Thank you, MacKenzie. Basically, with our program here being the 9-month cosmetology program, describe some things. Obviously you're gonna learn some techniques like this, but what else can students expect to learn?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to tell you more. There is a lot of information that's taken in that short 9-month time. Our students start in the fundamentals program, which is 8 weeks of a very immersive amount of education in hair cutting, hair coloring, and styling techniques. We help them practice and learn and become comfortable with methodology and terminology so that they can utilize those things in our classic hair cutting styles that we have from TONI&GUY. They're gonna do that and learn things like infection control, salon ecology, professional development, and even get into the chemistry and science behind hair color. And that's just the first 8 weeks. Yeah. After they complete that, they can move into our intermediate level. That is 12 weeks of some more advanced techniques that they're going to learn. So they'll get more in depth with design decisions. So selecting the right color, style, cut for a client based off of the way that their body is shaped and anatomy and their lifestyle. We also get further into hair cutting, more into men's hair cutting as well. We learn more about wigs and hair extensions. We learn about the skincare, so facials, makeup, hair removal of the face, even some body hair removal as well. We also get into manicuring, pedicuring, and nail enhancements. The nail industry has taken off in the past few years and has become such a lucrative option for cosmetologists. So we really like to give them the experience that we can with that. We also give them an avant-garde project, which is a really cool, fun opportunity for students to get creative and out of the box. I love to see our students try to inspire the trends of the future with this project because we want them to be very forward-thinking. Once they've completed intermediate level, then they move on to being seniors. This is where the student salon gets really fun and adventurous because we're really challenging students at this point to be efficient and to be a little bit more of a self-starter, having less involvement from the teacher, but we're always there watching, supervising, and helping. That's also when they tackle some challenging science subjects. A lot of people would be surprised to know that in cosmetology, we study chemistry, we study anatomy, we study business, and we even study electricity. So we kind of have to know a lot of different things to be the professionals that we become. Once that is all complete in the senior level, then we put them into a 8-week preparation for their state board examination. So a lot of testing and a lot of studying of laws. Cosmetology sets forth its own laws, rules, regulations, so any licensed cosmetologist is responsible to know them and be familiar with them and stay up to date with them as well.
Okay, with the cosmetology, like the licensing, how is that done now? Are you going in doing these techniques for anybody, or kind of how does that go?
Well, a few years ago, they did eliminate the practical portion of the state board exam for cosmetology, and it right now is just a computerized test. They do ask questions based off of practical things that you learn and do while you are in school and that you would do as a professional. However, being an educator, I can tell you that the elimination of the practical, while initially was a little jarring, has given us as educators the opportunity to focus more on current trends and things that are in high demand in the salon today, rather than preparing them to take a state board practical portion that was done in a very minimal step controlled way that often isn't always utilized in a professional practice.
Okay, very good point. So basically, what I'm getting from this, MacKenzie, is this TONI&GUY program kind of makes everything into a science.
Yeah.
These beautiful techniques that you're seeing are something that you learn to design and create. So I want to thank you today for showing us these demonstrations. Obviously, I can't use any of these, but if your hair is longer and you can try this out, that'd be great. At this point, just want to introduce myself again. My name is Zach. I'm an admissions representative here. If the program interests you at all, or you'd like to learn, you can tell there's a wealth of knowledge coming from MacKenzie. If you'd like to get inside this head, basically get a hold of us. We have tours we're doing daily. You can get a hold of us at 724-222-5330 and ask for admissions. Again, my name is Zach. You could ask for me or Mike. We'd both be willing to help you. Come in, take a tour, and hopefully get a chance to meet MacKenzie.
Yay.